Alright, what's going on guys? I'm gonna back at it again in here for another video for you guys for today. And today, yes, I am in here for another Raw review. And with Raw from last night, I thought it was a good show. Of course, with Raw being in Mexico and being in Mexico throughout this week for SmackDown as well. So it's cool seeing the WWE switch things up and be in Mexico for the first time. And maybe we'll get to see them in Mexico again for another show. And maybe even for a pay-per-view, we'll have to wait and see where that goes. But yeah, it's definitely cool seeing that little switch up there, and this was the Vengeance Go Home show. And speaking of Vengeance, with the Vengeance preview show will be happening this Sunday at 2:15 with the Best of Vengeance, getting you guys ready for Vengeance and the Return of Vengeance this Sunday, getting into the Vengeance predictions and as well the build up into Vengeance, if you will, and a couple other things in the world of professional wrestling and whatever else that we have to get to talk about that we didn't get to talk about in the Battle for Glory preview show will be said in the Vengeance preview show. So hopefully you guys can be able to spread the word, be a part of the show, because it's always one hell of a show and you guys aren't really going to miss it. So definitely, hopefully, I will see you guys this Sunday for the Vengeance preview show. And getting into overall with Raw, like I mentioned, I thought it was a good show. And with that being said, we kick things off right away with John Laurinaitis coming out and really just saying that he wants to stay in control and be general manager permanently, and that has someone else take over and be better than Triple H and do all he can to make everyone basically happy, and sarcastically apologizing for firing Jim Ross and saying he shouldn't have done it, and actually bringing back JR. And with that being said, having to be in the match, in the tag team match for the main event, and basically offering his job back. So hopefully JR actually stays and doesn't get fired again, because this is like the 1000th time that JR has been fired or rehired. So hopefully we'll see Jim Ross back next week and for the weeks to come, and hopefully he doesn't get fired again. So that's it with the first promo of the night with John Laurinaitis and Jim Ross kicking off the show there. So that's basically what's said with John Laurinaitis and everything like that. Then we get into the first matchup of the night, which was a 6-man tag team match. In this one, we have Randy Orton, John Morrison, and Sheamus taking on Christian, Mark Henry, and Cody Rhodes. And in the way, having the preview for Vengeance. And really, in the way, we went down to a singles match towards the end. We had Randy Orton and Cody battling out, going into the back, and as well Christian and Sheamus going into the crowd and out to the back as well. And it ended up being John Morrison and Mark Henry. And John Morrison actually doing pretty well in this one, and at least he wasn't doing too much like we've been seeing, so it was good that he was actually doing something, and I thought this would have been the perfect opportunity to have him get a win since he's been losing since his return. But, sadly and unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and it wasn't John Morrison's night for this one. It ended up being Mark Henry defeating John Morrison's team with the World's Strongest Slam, and that's it when it came to that. But it was a good 6-man tag team match. It would have been nice if Morrison got the win, but it is what it is, and that's it when it came to that. Then we get into the next match. Right after that, we got Eve taking on Natalya in this one, and what we learned that Eve will be the next opponent for Beth Phoenix this Sunday for the Divas Championship. So I will get into my predictions later on this week with my predictions video, and as well with my own Best of Vengeance as well in the prediction video, so be on the lookout for that. Probably around Friday, most likely I will have that video up. But anyway, this was a good Divas match between Eve and Natalya. We saw some good back and forth work between these two. We see a couple of submission maneuvers as well by Natalya trying to make Eve tap out basically, and in the end we see Eve with the moonsault and does defeat Natalya in this one, and is looking to be the next Divas champion. Will she actually do it? I'm not too sure about that. I don't really think so, but I will talk about that more in my prediction video later on this week. So that's it when it came to that. So Eve defeating Natalya, and that's it with that one. Then we get into the next match. We got CM Punk taking on The Miz. At one point, we had John Laurinaitis basically in the way stopping the match and having an altercation with Triple H and pretty much being a illegal alien for some strange reason, which is pretty random with that, and was actually called out to the back and escorted out of the arena. So that's what we saw with that, and luckily the match was able to restart. But anyway, when things down, what we did get to see in this match here, we see the suicide dive by CM Punk in this one as well. We see the crossface and good chemistry by both CM Punk and The Miz, which made up for a good match. And we see the headlock here, and we see the clotheslines as well as the kicks, and the double team, unfortunately, by the Miz and as well R-Truth looking to take out CM Punk. But in the end, CM Punk does come back and defeats the Miz, and that's it when it came to that. Then we get into the next match. We got Jack Swagger and Zack Ryder in this one, and this one didn't last too long. We didn't really see too much things out of both of these guys, and it was a pretty quick match. Could have lasted a little longer, but you know, it was okay for what it was worth. But in the end, Zack Ryder does get the defeat with the Rough Rider onto Jack Swagger, and that's it when it came to that one. And right after that, we do have another match, which was a non-title match with Dolph Ziggler and Mason Ryan. And you know, with this one, I'm still not really into Mason Ryan, even as a face. I guess in time I'll get into him, but really don't really care for the guy in that match at all. So, you know, didn't really care too much for the match in itself. But in the end, who ends up getting the win? Basically no one, and then in the disqualification. So really, no one got the win there. So that's it when it came to that. But anyway. Wasn't a title match, so you know, didn't really care for the match, so that's it when it came to that. Then we get into, yes, the main event. We got John Cena and Jim Ross taking on Michael Cole and Alberto Del Rio. And really with this one, this was basically John Cena and Alberto Del Rio in the preview for this Sunday at Vengeance, and it actually was a good main event. You know, didn't really care for Michael Cole wrestling. I thought that was over. Hopefully this will be the last time we see Michael Cole wrestling. We've seen him wrestle WrestleMania and Extreme Rules and that Over the Limit, so hopefully this will be the final time we get to see him, because I'd rather much have him on commentary than wrestle in a match. So that's just me, but that's it when it you know, really comes down to that. But you know, running things down a little briefly, what we did get to see here. We see the arm drag as well as the body drop here. We see the gut wrench by John Cena that he's to actually bring it back as of late. We see the power bomb as well as the clothesline here, and the double axe handled by Alberto Del Rio in this one, and as well as the snap suplex. And in the end, who ends up getting the win here? And that's right, John Cena and Jim Ross gets the win here over Del Rio, and Michael Cole and Jim Ross getting his payback, and yes, making Michael Cole tap out, which I really enjoyed. So it was nice seeing Michael Cole get his ass kicked and you know, get his ass handed to him, if you will, and that's it when it came to that for the main event. So made up for actually a good match overall. So you know, I was pretty impressed by it. So you know, that's it when it came to that. But that's actually it when it came to Raw overall. And I made up for a good Raw show in my opinion, and actually looking forward for Vengeance, which should be a good show, and as well for the previous show. Once again, hopefully you guys can be a part of it. And let me know what you guys thoughts on Raw, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you thought should have been more differently. And do you think Raw should come back to Mexico and maybe even for pay-per-views? What are your thoughts on that? Definitely leave your comments down below in the comment box, and I will leave a link to Cece's actually first video that she made not too long ago, which was yesterday, so definitely you guys can check that out as well. Links will be in the description box for you guys to check out her first video. Hopefully you guys you know, we'll check that out and give her a chance, and like I mentioned, she knows her stuff, so hopefully you guys will be able to welcome her to YouTube. And also go follow her on Twitter, and go follow me on Twitter as well. And that about does it for this Raw review for you guys for this week. And until then, I will see you guys for in the hot seat with my brand new guest, and of course my guest will be back better than ever for this week and for the next continuing weeks, and so on and so forth. And that about does it for this review and video. And as always, I will talk to you guys later on. Peace.